Hi, welcome to Muzzle First. So I wanted to show you one of these pocket knives that I used to carry a couple of years ago. This right here is a Kershaw Crown. It is model 3160, and I think you can get a good look at the model number there. These are made with 8CR13 MOV steel, which is actually, it's a decent steel, but it's kind of brittle. And that's the problem that I ran into it. I actually broke the blade on this knife prying with it. I actually used it as a pry bar. My fault. Not what a pocket knife is supposed to be used for, but I broke the blade on this, and I recently decided to fix it. So it's set on a workbench for a couple years, and well, a good year and a half. And I ran across it cleaning off my workbench the other day, and I thought I would just fix the blade. So I'll give you an idea here. I'll put a stock image above it here. Give you an idea of what I did to that blade. So I lost about 1/4 of an inch of length here, and I got a tape measure. Let's from the factory, this comes with a 3 1/4 inch blade, and you see it's right at about 3 inches now. So from the factory, this blade here was very pointy. It had a very sharp, pointy blade. The problem is the metal on this blade is kind of thick when you start getting back a little bit. So I really, fortunately, it was only 1/4 of an inch, because I really couldn't go too much further back here without getting such a thick blade that it'd be hard to work with. But I used a dremel with a sanding drum, and I just reprofiled it. I reshaped the tip of that blade to make it usable again. I don't know if I'll ever carry it. I might put it in a pack or something. It's not necessarily a great defensive knife. It's not tactical. But I always liked this knife. It's an attractive knife. I like the look of this knife. I like the feel of this knife. I like those micarta scales. I just am not. I don't like that pocket clip. For daily carry, I have something better that I carry now than this. But I didn't want to pitch it, so I thought I would just reshape that blade. What do you think? Did it come out usable? I think it came out usable. It took an edge very well. Although you can see, let me get a closer look at that. The problem you run into is you start getting such thick metal on that tip that you come with kind of a chisel tip now, as opposed to such a real pointy tip. It's not necessarily as fine a tip as what it was before. But like I said, that 8CR13 MOV is a steel. Decent steel, holds an edge fairly decent. It's reasonably easy to sharpen, but it's brittle. There was no bend on the tip of this blade. It just shattered. It shattered the tip of it. And I mean, literally, it came apart, and there's probably 5 different pieces. But like you see, I lost about 1/4 of an inch of blade length on that. You can see it comes to right about 3 inches now. So not too bad. I think it's usable. And I'll throw it back in my drawer, and maybe one of these days I will find a use for it. Let me know if you've done anything like that. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think that's a usable blade tip now? It's not nearly as pointy, but it is sharp. It still takes a decent edge. But I think it's a usable tip. Let me know if you've done anything like this. Let me know what you would have done with it if you would just pitched it. I know it's only a Kershaw. MSRP on this knife was only $30 when it was made. It's not being made anymore. I bought this on clearance in 2014, and that's when they discontinued it. So you can still buy these for about less than $20 shipped to your house on eBay. They're still on eBay if you want to look them up. And there's a couple different models of 3160. This one is just the 3160. There's a couple different designs here in that series, but I always like this knife. I always like the look of this knife. I like the look of those micarta scales, and it's an attractive knife. That's it. That's all I wanted to show you. This has been Muzzle First. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below this video. Let me know what you think. You can reach me by email at muzzlefirst@gmail.com. This is my website, www.muzzlefirst.com. Thank you, and you have a nice day.